Hi, and welcome to Silent No Longer. I'm Mesha, and I'm so glad you're here. The podcast is a safe, judgment free space for healing, hope, and honest conversation for anyone who's been through toxic or abusive relationships. I know firsthand how it feels to feel trapped, unheard, and unseen. I lived through years of toxic relationships, financial struggles, and spiritual battles, but through faith and healing, I found freedom. And my purpose now is to help others find the same. On this podcast, we'll share stories of resiliency, transformation, and faith. I'll share my own journey, and we'll also hear from guests who have walked similar paths. My goal is to remind you that you are not alone, that healing is possible, and that your past does not define your future. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to check out my book, Behind Closed Doors, where I share my story in depth. And if you feel ready, I offer one-on-one coaching to walk with you through your healing journey. And thank you for joining me today. I'm honored to be part of your journey, and I can't wait to walk through this season of healing, hope, and breakthrough with you. Welcome to Silent No Longer, where the past is a chapter and not the whole book. Today's guest is Joni, a certified life coach and relationship specialist who helps people build emotional, healthy relationships. After leaving a 15-year marriage marked by silence and pressure, she rebuilt her life through healing of self discovery, intentional dating. Today, we will discuss dating after divorce. Thank you, Joni, for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Can't wait to talk about it.
Yes, I'm super excited. You want to just start by telling us a little bit about your story and how you ended up there?
Yeah. So I got to this place in particular because I just released my first book, Burned, Blocked, and Better Than Ever on October 7th. And it's been kind of a project for almost 8 years. And I wrote it while I was getting a divorce. And I was a youth and young adult pastor for about 20 years. And getting a divorce was kind of a really big deal. And kind of the book in and of itself is self-help. It's all about finding out who you want to be and then leaning into that, instead of just constantly trying to live up to someone else's expectations of you, whether that's your family, whether that's your faith, whether that's your husband, whether that's your friends, deciding who you want to be and then becoming that person is all a journey that you get to do, and it's exciting. It's so much better than trying to live up to someone else's expectations. So that's where I'm at here. And through that was, the divorce, raising kids, moving, and then, of course, dating.
Yeah. So, quick question. Your book, is it on Audible?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I always listen to books while I'm driving, so it's like that's what sounds like really something I really need to listen to. So, but
Well, I've heard there's like trick. You can do the Kindle and then you can upload to an app because I was like, oh, how do I get that? So there's a trick out there to do that.
interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about dating after marriage
Thank
because
you.
I need this in my life. Let me tell you. I've been divorced now for goodness, a little after a year, and I'm like, "Ah, maybe it's time for me to start dating again," but I'm terrified, so
Yeah, it's a scary, scary world out there.
yeah.
How long were you married?
9 years, and then before that, I was in a relationship with the kids' dad for goodness, trying to think, like 11 or 12 years? I don't know, it was a really long time, but it was on and off, but I wasn't I think I started dating my husband maybe not even a year after. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But, I mean, I hung out with people, didn't really have anything serious in between, I guess I should say.
Lots of situationships?
Yeah, so let's go with that. That's kinda like what this round was too. I'm like, "Yeah, I just need to stop doing this." I'm healed now, and that was a whole journey in itself, and I think after the divorce, I just went crazy wild because I have nobody telling me what to do, and I felt free, and that's how I acted, but I was like, "I'm not this person. I need to find my way back."
Yeah, that was a lot of, what I went through. So I got married when I was 20 years old, and I kind of, like, not really dated in high school because I was always in the church. So the church was very,
Mhm.
like, tight-knit, obviously, definitely very strict on how you dated, what you did dating. Like, it was just all essentially a courtship. Like, I had
Yeah.
friends who actually did courtship, and I was like, "Okay, that's weird." No, only for me, not for them. It works
Yeah.
for them, they're fabulous. Um, but for me, I was a natural flirt, so
Mhm.
I love making people feel welcome. Like, I love smiling at them and making them feel like, "You are so welcomed in this place," and that is interpreted as flirting. I can, throw on a big smile. I love it. I think, why not make people feel so excited? But to be fair, I can also go the other extreme, like my you know, RBF is strong.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
But, like, why not just have so much fun? So I never really dated. I had high school boyfriends, that kinda stuff, and then I got married. So I was married at 20 years old, and even then, it wasn't so much a dating situation, it was he picked me and he did everything in his power to bring me in. And that's the book. Like, it's just I didn't recognize how quickly the manipulations even started. Like, he started separating me from everyone else, like I was the trophy, I was the prize, I was the one that he would be able to say, "Oh, I'm dating her. Oh, I've got her. Oh, this." But on the back end and the behind the scenes, I was being told, "Well, you're not good enough for so and so. You're not good enough here. They're gonna get rid of you because of this." And so he wanted that power in my life so that I wouldn't go to anyone else. I wouldn't feel valued enough. So that was my entire marriage or the dating experience. So when I got married, my family had abandoned me. I pretty much had to beg everyone to be on my stand up with me, my bridal team. And it was that weird, I'm not good enough, but here I am kind of situation. So fast forward to 2016 where I'm getting a divorce. I'm like, okay, well, hope somebody likes me out there, because I'd spent my entire life being told I wasn't enough
Yeah.
and my entire marriage that I wasn't enough. And as I started to pursue divorce, obviously his tactics were, no, you're not going to find anyone that wants you. You're not good enough, all those kind of things. So going out into the dating world, what I found immediately was shocking because
Yeah.
suddenly it was like, everyone's like, why are you single? Like, I was like, oh, wait, what? You actually think I'm attractive? You actually, what? Oh, I had no idea. Like, it just blew my mind, and, I liken it, I talk about it in the book specifically, is I was a starved dog. I was someone who was so neglected in just the basics of being told, "You're kind. You're lovely. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're a good mother." Like, anything that would build me up, that would help me recognize who I truly was completely gone. So I was a
Yeah.
starved dog. And so as soon as I got out in the dating world, they came in like full force, like they were all the guys. Like, it was overwhelming. Like, dating back then, I was on probably 3 different um apps because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna try this out. I don't recommend it. Stay off the app, people.
Yeah, I
Stay
I
off.
tried when I did it after the kids' dad, they weren't apps, they were websites then, but I did a few and yeah, it was a journey. I'm like, "I'm not doing that this time." No, thank you, especially today. No, I mean, I just reconnected with a couple, well, when right after my divorce, I connected with an old friend, And that was enough. I was like, "My goodness, okay, so let's try something new." And then I started hanging out with this other guy, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, please tell me this is not." I mean, it was just I learned a lot about myself from our friendship,
Mhm.
and he did. He built me up. And then I got into this coaching program and everybody and then they built me up. So I know all these people were in my life for a reason to basically build my self-worth up because I didn't think I was capable of anything because of the same reasons you said. But I don't know. I'm just everything turns into a situationship because nobody wants to commit. And it's not that I'm looking to get married tomorrow, but I definitely don't want to just be an option because you're bored.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, that is so different than what I had gone through because what I had gone through is everyone wanted to commit right away. They were
Mm,
like, "Oh, I'm gonna catch you," and I'm like, no, why? I'm not like I don't wanna be go from one cage to another, you know?
yeah.
And so I've seen it all switch. It is now to the, "Well, we're just not gonna commit." And whereas it was like, "I have to have this right away, and this has to be, the future. We're gonna make plans for our babies, for our, lives and all of that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Okay." When you go from one extreme to the other, finding that balance in there is really difficult and how to start having conversations where you're asking the questions of what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you need out of a relationship? And if they're not able to even answer that question, then I would hit pause on it right away. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm a hard person to date. I really am, because I'm a relationship coach. As soon as I go out on a date, we're talking about, like, conversations that you have on date 9, 10, or 11, like, your future
Yeah.
plans, we're not just talking about, like,
Well, you don't
what.
wanna waste your time.
Exactly. I don't wanna waste my time, but I also want to see what kind of self-awareness do you have where you are able to self-reflect because, you can come across any kinda issue, you can come across any kind of dating problems, co-parenting because, at our age, you've got co-parenting, you've got raising kids, you've got work, you've got all of these other obligations and learning how to date in the middle of all that.
Mhm.
If you haven't figured out yourself and your emotional intelligence and your accountability and how you show up in various areas, if you haven't figured that out now, it's going to be sure as hell hard to figure it out later.
Mhm.
So having those conversations up front doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it wrong, but I would rather know that you're even thinking about it. Like, what is my role in this particular situation? How do I make this better? How do I step away from, like it's just so much self-reflection.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, 'cause before I figured out that I think I had an attachment style. You gave me energy and, because I never got it, not even growing up. So somebody gave me energy, oh my goodness. If they were to give me any type of attention, that would be who I would go for. And that's how it's really sad, but that's how I chose people in the past.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize where it stemmed from. I had to reflect on I'm having this feeling. Where does it come from? Take all the people and myself out of it. Where is this feeling coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Where is this stemming from? Anyway, I took a journey all the way down to my roots. And now I look at relationships and people and life in a completely different outlook. I sit here and I'm like, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life because the way that I think about things, I'm like, oh my goodness, my standards are so stinking high. I'm like, "Oh, they need this, 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 and this, and this, and this." And if they show anything in these areas, they're just, go someplace because I don't wanna deal with that again. It's just I just feel like I'm just gonna be alone forever, I don't know. Oh.
Well, I think what's hard about dating right now is, when you are doing all this work, this self-reflection, this awareness where you're able to be like, "Okay, I have high expectations or high standards." I told someone once, I was like, "I have high standards, but low expectations," because I have to understand that not everyone is where I'm at. because I've spent time and time
Yeah.
and time doing this. So, do I approach new relationships in the sense that for a little bit, there's gonna be some handholding. There just is. And it's
Mhm.
not because I want to parent anyone. It's not because, I think less of them. It is literally because this kind of emotional intelligence work that we're trying to do
Mhm.
isn't something we talk about ever. Especially when it comes to men, they just are so told to keep their feelings in, to be such and such. This is the expectation of a man. And how do you get to a point where you can self-reflect on the role that they played and how their relationship failed? Like it's
Mhm.
just helping someone get emotionally intelligent requires a lot of handholding. And so, how to do that in a dating situation is very, what do you want to call it? Sensitive. You gotta there's a line because you can't become someone's counselor. You have to recognize, okay, the hat that I'm putting on is I'm not a relationship coach right now. I'm your date. And so as your date, I can say these things to you like, "Hey, I would like to do this," and give you a chance to respond and to reflect. And if it doesn't work out like that, then I'm not going to put on my coach hat and be like, "Oh, well, you kind of fucked that one up."
Yeah.
Understanding that my role is I, as a person who am trying to date someone, if I don't learn how to communicate, I don't give them the opportunity to show up. And that, I think, is where we're missing the mark. Instead, we assume that they've done the work that we've done, and that's very rarely the case. They very
Yeah.
rarely have done the work that we've done, especially when we're coming in with high standards. Uh,
So, if you've gone through the healing and you go on the first date, what would be some appropriate questions to ask a person without scaring them away?
oh gosh. So I always like to just start out with family questions. I always want to know tell me about your mom, tell me about your dad, tell because then that gives me a sense of the relationships, like how because relationships are everywhere. The health of them really show through, like, oh, I have a great relationship with my mom, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. Oh, tell me why, like what's going on there. Um just little things like that, and, uh, I get to start there. I start talking about work, like, "Tell me, what kinda things do you do? How do you enjoy" usually at this age, they're in some sort of management or some sort of upper leadership, so I always like to find out, like, what's it like on a day-to-day? Like, what kind of problems do you come across? This, for me, is the way to be, just kind of navigating, like, "Oh, how do you handle problems?"
Yeah, that's good.
Ew. Um, one particular date, I knew he was red flag central as soon as it started because he was in, 3 different lawsuits, and I was like, "Oh god." He was he was, like, trying to boast about the fact that he was gonna win all 3 lawsuits, and I was like, "Can we just start with the fact that you're in 3 different lawsuits?" Like,
Right?
I feel like you're not recognizing, he's all like, "Yeah, I'm advocating for myself and I'm, doing this." And I'm like, "Mm, but you're in 3 different lawsuits." So that tells me that there's something happening here where you're not accountable in some way. And I don't know
Uh-huh.
what it is because I'm like, "Oh, okay. Do I just, like, keep my mouth shut? Because I don't know, am I gonna cause a lawsuit? Like, am I
Oh,
gonna serve me some papers later? Like, what's going on?" So, that was, like, red flag central. I was, "Okay, alright," And so it's, like, little ways to have conversations, but know what you're looking for. Like, I wanna know how someone handles conflict. For me, that's huge.
mhm.
If handle conflict in a way where you are accountable for your actions, where you're able to step back, and negotiate and come to the table. My thing is I tell people all the time, if we can come to the table and talk, then we can work things out. But if you stonewall, if you're blocking people, if that is your method of dealing with conflict, that's never gonna work. So asking questions, but knowing what you're looking for in the answer. For me, it's always conversation, 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 conversation. If you can have conversation and you're telling me, "Yeah, we had to sit and talk for, like, 30 minutes about the situation." I'm like, "Cool. Great. How'd that turn out?" You know?
Yeah, definitely if you're sitting down having conversations, make sure they're going someplace. My ex and I used to sit down and have conversations for, gosh, 2 hours. Think that it's gonna be fantastic after this. Kid you not, we probably had the same exact 2-hour plus conversation multiple different times, and I'm like, "Why are we doing this again?" And it got to the point where I was like, "I'm not discussing this." "Well, why aren't you discussing it?" "'Cause we've already discussed this, like, 5 other times. I'm not doing this again." But I didn't realize that it was the same conversation over and over and over again. But if you have a conversation about something and you're discussing how to resolve or fix or help or whatever it may be, and there's no action taken afterwards, pay
Mhm.
attention to that.
Yeah. I'm curious, what conversation was it that you guys were having over and over?
It was usually about raising kids and, how he wanted to be a good father and a better father than what he had, and we would I'd get my little counseling hat on, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what kind of father would you like to be when you were a kid and you sat there?" Because that's what I did when I was a kid. When you were a kid, you sit there and you envisioned, "Okay, this is what my father is like." When you grew up, what kind of father did you want to be? He would answer it, be everything. I said, "Okay, well, then be that person. You don't have to be this other person." And it was just a circle every single time, and it was so annoying because I it was annoying to me in the fact that how can you know you have the solution to something? It's right there,
Yeah.
but why can't you implement it in your life? I mean, I never understood that, and I don't understand how people can have that mindset.
Mhm.
I still don't get it, because 'cause I'm not that person. If somebody tells me the key on how to fix something, yes, thank you so much, let's do this. I'm not gonna sit there and just keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
But anyway.
See, that's perfect because you knew what you didn't like out of the conversation, and so as you go into dating, someone that is proactive in being active, asking questions that reflect that really
Mhm,
helps. You're like, "Okay, well, clearly you see if I'm giving you the solution to the problem and you're using it and utilizing it, then that's a green flag," you know?
mhm,
Like, just yeah.
yeah, yep, and if you point something I've noticed this 'cause I don't know if it's just the friend that I have and I'm just comfortable with the person, or if it's just who I am now, I'm not sure yet. But if they do something, then or say something and you'd be like, "Yes, but that's in the guy's mind, that's what you're thinking, and you don't see a problem with it. But in
Mhm.
a girl's mind, this is how we're thinking because we think differently." And if you have the conversation about it to, like, help them realize, why the situation may have gone not in the direction that they wanted it to, or think that there was a communication problem because the woman was, um, not seeing it in their way or making what are they being dramatic about it. I always feel like guys say that we're always so dramatic. It's like, no, our brains just don't work the same as yours. So if you sit there and you try to explain to them why a girl is thinking the way that they're thinking, if you find a guy and they're like, "Oh, no," and just don't wanna hear anything about it, I feel that's kind of a run situation because you're always gonna end up with situations in your relationship, and they're not gonna validate your feelings.
Well, definitely. I think what's important there is if you're not willing to stop and put yourself in someone else's shoes, and this is like a life practice,
Mhm.
as the relationships are everywhere. If you're not able to stop and put yourself in someone else's shoes so that you can gain a better perspective, so that you can connect on a better level, you're never going to be successful in building relationships because you're just always going to be, for lack of a better term, selfish. You're just
Yeah.
gonna be selfish, and relationships are a partnership, all of them, whether it's with coworkers, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends, whether it's romantic, they're partnerships. They are you coming in and saying, I am here to build something with you, and to do that in the right and healthy way, I'm gonna do that by listening. I'm gonna do that by seeing your side of it. I'm gonna do that by being proactive and understanding your needs, your wants, your desires, all of that. And then in that, I will be able to mesh those with mine. Like there's just, yeah, red flag, huge one is if they can't take themselves out of their own head and really try to figure out where you're coming from. That's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I've learned. I feel like I've learned a lot.
Well, that's always good.
Or maybe just
Hey.
yeah, maybe. My scariest part of dating is, um, I don't even really know how to word it. I don't want to start dating somebody and goodness, like, just I don't wanna say form. I keep thinking form, but, like, form to them, but just be so, "Oh, it's okay. I'll give them a chance," that sort of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know how to put it in words. Like, I know the feeling. I know the situations, I've been there before, but that's how they all started. All
Mhm.
my relationships started, "Oh, well, it won't be like that with me." That was a big thing. They talk about their exes and they're talking negatively, like everything was all their fault. Just run, because it's never one person's fault. There was an issue somewhere between the 2 of them, and for some reason, it couldn't be worked out. It's never one person's fault.
No, it's
So
never.
that's another thing that I learned because is somebody tells you they've been through 3 marriages and you ask them, "Oh, why have you been married so many times?" You know? And they tell you, "It's the other person's fault, they cheated on me." Okay, I'm sorry, but you should probably run. Don't be me and figure it out. Just run.
Just call it. Call
Don't
it.
be like, "Oh, that won't be me." There must have been something really wrong with them, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like dating's gonna be a lot of work. I don't know. I really wanna be on board with it and say all good things about it, but I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, am I just scared or am I not ready? Is it not the right time? Like, how do you know? Do you just jump out there and pray that everything's gonna be okay?
Well, and I mean, I feel like that sometimes too. I know for me personally, and this is all just my self-reflection and everything, I'm not ready to date because I'm not ready for 2 reasons. One, my heart is still openly has feelings for a past relationship. So I've not healed from that. I haven't
Uh-huh.
been able to properly box that up and put it away. Trust me, I'm doing the work every day. Like it's
Yeah.
every day I'm like, I just need to. So it wouldn't be fair for me to go out and find a replacement. Like
Mhm.
that to me disgusts me as a person. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather be single and understand that I've protected someone else.
Yeah.
I haven't used them as a filler because I know my heart is still not my own. And actually, I think about the movie Sweet Home Alabama with
I
Reese.
love that movie, it's my favorite. There's a story, the reason why it's my favorite, but yeah, it's my favorite movie ever.
But at the very end, she looks at her fiance and says,
Yeah.
"You want me," because she gave her heart away a long time ago and she never really fully got it back. And yeah, I've had relationships that have been impactful, that have changed me, that I can look back and say, I definitely loved that person. That person changed my life. That person has, a piece of, my story. But currently, the person that I just, I, I'm still there. I'm still
Mhm.
and someone doesn't want me because my heart's not fully gonna be in it, and I have to recognize that, and it sucks because 'cause I'm like I'm ready to be like, "Ugh," my heart's all the way back, but it's just not. So for
Yeah.
me, that's my personal responsibility. The other part too is where I am in life, I don't have time to do and I recognize that dating right now requires more hand-holding just because of where we are in culture and self-awareness and emotional intelligence and what all that looks like. There's a lot more in-depth conversations and time that needs to happen that I just don't have. Like, I just don't. I wish I did, but I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 teenagers. I've got a college student and a high school freshman, and unless I was dating my best friend who, like, could really who already knows the ins and outs, no, I don't have the time to build that ground, and I would build it poorly,
Yeah.
fortunately. So, that's
See,
why I'm single.
I feel like my heart isn't attached to anybody for the first time in my entire life. I feel like I'm a brand new person, literally a brand new person, just starting their life from now, well, like 6 months ago, and then going forward. And I'm just excited to start life and figure out where I'm going. But I get sad because my kids are older and they're all gonna be moving away, and I don't wanna do this by myself. I want somebody to do it with me, but I also want somebody to understand my vision in life and be okay with that. And that's my biggest fear, that somebody's gonna come in and be like, "Oh, you're doing XYZ, well, that's taking up too much of my time," and make you choose. And that I think that's what scares me.
Well, see? There you go. Now you know how to set a boundary.
Yeah. But it's like trying to find somebody who has their own things that they're working for, because that's important too, like, they have to know goals and something that they wanna do in life too. Because if not, what are you gonna talk about? Where is any of the intelligent conversation? Because my brain needs to be stimulated.
Yeah.
I get so bored. I'm like, "Oh gosh." Like, I just need some I don't even care if I just sit there and listen to you talk, like, my brain just needs to be stimulated, but not with nonsense, like, tell me something interesting. It's so bad. I'm be alone forever.
I say that all the time too, but, we won't. I truly believe that, we won't. So have you started trying any dating stuff?
No, not really. I reconnected with the person who still had a hold of my heart, um, and yeah, that didn't end very well. So that got broken, and it's fine. It was long overdue and needed. And then I started hanging out with somebody else, and, there wasn't no commitment,
Mhm.
but because I wasn't healed, my heart was feeling committed, I guess, and we stopped talking, and it just crushed me. It literally broke me, but good way, because I needed that. I went through a whole bunch of healing, reflected on myself, and because of that, now I'm a different person. So I feel like people come into your life for a reason,
Mhm.
and that person was there to build me up and just support me in all my goals, and we still talk now. We didn't talk for the longest time, but, I don't know, just because we were like a relationship, but it was like a relationship I'd never had. Because when I was married, we never talked. We weren't even hardly ever in the same room together, and then this person comes into your life, and you're always together, you're always talking, they're supporting you in every area of your life, all these things, and I had never experienced that before in my entire life. but it was kind of I don't know. Sometimes I look back I don't even try to look back on the relationship anymore because the whole thing when we stopped talking, the whole thing just broke me, but also helped me figure out why I looked at people the way I did and what I was looking for them and where it was stemming from, and I healed all those wounds. So, like, now, I'm not like that. Not like that at all, like, give me too much attention, I'm gonna be like, "Okay, do you like me, or are you just bored? Is it I mean, like, give me more. I need more information, because there could be so many reasons why you're giving me attention right now, and I wanna know that it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because 'Cause I've experienced the love bombing.
Mhm.
I've experienced I'll say anything and do anything you want me to do to get you to like me. I've experienced, um, I don't know, just doing spur of the moment doing things for you, making you feel special.
Mhm.
You just know that they're there, but you never know when they're gonna call you, excitement, I don't know, all the things. I've experienced that. So, I feel if somebody was to come into my life and give me too much attention, I'm gonna be like, "What are your intentions?" Like, I need to know them right now. Which direction are you leaning for? Just tell me what you're doing. 'Cause right
Okay.
now, you're raising a lot of red flag not red flags, but, like, my radar is going up. I'm watching you. Which direction is this going? And that's
Well,
another thing that scares me.
I guess, if you already know what it would be, like, if you were to ask that question, what answer would you be looking for? If you were to say, "Okay, what are your intentions?"
That's a good
What
question.
what would you be looking for? Like, what is the answer that would make you be like, "Okay, phew, we're good. We can keep going."
I don't know, I would probably, because 'cause I'm a question person. I always tell people that if you don't want me asking you questions, then this isn't gonna work out. And, like, anyway, even, like, in workplace, I ask a million questions. Um, I would probably start out with, "Are you looking for a relationship?" How they answer that is number 1 key. If they say, "Oh, well, I just wanna, be friends and see where it goes." They're not looking for any type of committed relationship. They're just stringing you along. From what I have noticed, like, that's what happens, and because you haven't dated lately, like, in the last year or 2?
Um, no, yeah, probably my last official dating relationship was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy out there, and maybe
Mhm.
that's another reason why I'm kinda scared to date because nobody wants to make a commitment. I will definitely tell them I'm not having sex with them, because if you tell somebody that you're not having sex with them, you're gonna know if they're interested or not, and if they ask you for how long, I wouldn't even tell them. 'em. I'll just be like, "I'm not having sex with you at all." Like, I honestly would not give them a time frame because if you I feel like if you give somebody a time frame on something, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, okay," especially if they wanna have sex with you. They're just gonna sit there and hang on until they get what they want, and then they'll decide then if they still want you or not. And if that's something that's important to you, then don't do it. I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, "Don't sleep with people because you'll find out real quick if they want in your life or not, because if they didn't really like you after you have sex with them, they'll leave you."
Mhm.
And it's hard because when you have sex with somebody, women get attached. Whether or not you want to or not, you're attached. And then you don't see things that you would have normally have seen if you weren't sleeping with them.
Mhm.
I don't know where I was going with that, but
Well, so I'm curious.
I feel like I unpacked a lot.
So tell me, so you are going into dating because you're looking for a commitment.
Well, I would like to say yes. If I go into dating, I'm not sleeping with anybody.
Mhm.
Will not. Because that's one thing that I'm just not gonna do anymore. Um, I feel like if somebody is serious on dating you, they're not gonna be wanting to date you for the sex. They wanna get to know you and know that you can resolve conflict, and just all the relationship things. Because you have to know if the relationship things work.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, sex isn't always gonna be there.
Right.
So, I guess I want to date for the intentions of getting married,
Mhm.
but are you going to marry that person just because you're dating them? Not necessarily.
I'm, like, writing notes down. So the intention of dating for or the dating for the intention of being married. Okay, so but what would a healthy marriage look like for you in that dating experience? Without sex. I mean, because, a healthy marriage has to have healthy sex. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know, and I think about that too. I'm like, they say not to do a trial run before, but let's be for real here.
oh, like, I'm
But
sorry.
then I also think that if your communication is really good, you're gonna be able to communicate through sex, which is gonna give you a good sex life. Because if you just go in and have sex and you're not communicating, one person's gonna think it's great and the other person's gonna think that it sucks, right?
It usually
Probably.
that way anyways. I mean, it's always great for one person, and then for the other person,
Yeah.
we need to talk.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm having a whole entire, coaching session here.
So it's
Let's do
constant.
it.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, so wait, so commitment, if you're going into dating, you're looking for that commitment for marriage, so you're looking for communication. What else? Like, what are you looking through your dating experience, and then how long do you want it to go?
I don't know. How soon is some people get married after a few months and some people wait a few years. Oh, gonna have a little panic attack thinking about all this. Goodness gracious.
I'm just trying to help you get there. Come on.
Okay, so, like, I feel like you have to have good communication. That's something that you're gonna have to make a good focal point on while you're dating,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. The person has to be financially set.
Mhm.
I don't wanna take care of nobody. I've done that my whole life, I'm not doing it again. They I don't want somebody wanting a mom.
Mhm.
I want somebody who has their own goals and their own ambition in life. I have my own goals and my own ambitions in life, and I'm not gonna give them up for anybody. So they're gonna have to be okay with that. They're gonna have to want to travel. I don't wanna sit at home. I've done that. And if you have money, I don't wanna hear, "Oh, we can't do anything." If we have money to be able to go do things, I wanna go do things.
Yeah.
They cannot have to wanna have kids because I can't have any more kids, so, um, somebody asked me once if somebody else had little kids, if I would date them. And that's a question that I cannot answer because I look at other little kids and I'm around other little kids, and I'm just like, "Ugh, I don't know if I wanna do that." I keep telling my kids, I'm like, "No grandbabies, please, I'm not ready." And everybody's like, "It'll be different when it's your grandbaby." I'm like, "I hope so."
Yeah, 'cause you get to
But, yeah, my kids are all older, my youngest is 15. My girls are all adults. 2 of them still live at home. But I also come with baggage, and that's another thing that scares me about marriage. Because my grandma lives with me. I don't know if you wanna call it baggage. I come with responsibilities, let's put it that way.
yeah.
My grandma lives with me, I take care of her. And then, um, I'm my, brother's person for if he ever has an emergency. So I have to be there for him, you know? If anything was to ever happen to my brother for any reason, I have to take my niece, and she has autism. I don't know if she'll ever be able to live on her own. So, I mean, those are some things that I have to think about. So, I mean, there's a lot for me to think about to go into dating. And a lot of this stuff, a guy's gonna be like, that's just too much. And I know that. So why am I gonna wanna put myself out there thinking that? Because sometimes I forget that I have all these responsibilities and I'm like, oh, my kids are gonna be out of the house pretty soon and blah, 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 blah. And I can go do this and this and this. And where would I wanna live? And think about all this stuff. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, I can't do that. I have to think about all this other stuff too before I can even think about anything else.
Well, I kinda feel like you hit the most important part right there, the communicate, but the responsibilities. So,
Mhm.
if you were to start dating and, no sex, you're working on communication, building that relationship, what response would make you feel safe when you explained the vast responsibilities that you have?
No, I mean, I guess I would have to ask them a lot of questions. If they were okay with it, I would have to know more about them and their life, because somebody can be like, "Oh, that's okay," and be all on board with it, but after they get in the thick of things, be like, "Oh, this is too much."
Mhm.
So you would have to ask them, like, "Have like, what is your family like? Have you ever been through any, um" oh my goodness, why can't I think? Like, emergency type situations with family, had to make, like, quick decisions that
Caretake
altered your life or anything like that, because that always falls on my lap. I don't know why everybody thinks I have to be the caretaker of the family, but, like, everything falls on my lap, so, um, and it's really busy, but I'm really good at managing my time. I can make time for somebody, but, I mean, you can't managing time with me isn't, "Hey, let's do something on this day at this time." Okay, we can write it down, but I can't guarantee it's gonna happen. Managing time with me is like calling me up and, "What are you doing right now?" "Okay, let's go out to lunch." "Alright, let's go. Come pick me up." Like, that's me managing time. That's how I best operate.
Yeah.
All my friends are like, "You never have time for anything." I have lots of time, just not when you wanna make plans. Like, I have a schedule. You have to see if I have time in between in the nooks and crannies of my life.
Mhm. Well, I think right there you've uncovered 2 really big things that you can look for when you start dating. Questions to ask, like, what familial, responsibilities that this person has. Start asking those questions, like, "What's your relationship with your parents?" And if they're like, "Oh, we're really close. I spend a lot of time. I run my parents to their doctor's appointments." They are already experiencing the caretaking role, so they
Mhm.
would be able to understand your role. Whereas if you're dating someone who has no idea what that's like, it's gonna be an obstacle,
It
right?
is. Mhm.
So, learning how to ask those questions with what you're hoping to hear.
Yeah.
And then, that's big right there. And then that idea of I'm a last minute person, that flexibility is actually some people really like that and then some people don't because how they perceive making plans and you're unavailable or you have to cancel last minute, they see that through their own lens, whereas if you're dating someone or you've already communicated, hey, I'm very last minute, call me up that day and if I'm free I'd love to get you, I'd love to go out with you. If they're able to lean into that kind of dating relationship, then you've picked a winner. Like
Yeah.
these are like little things you can start looking for when you start dating.
Yeah, and also, I'm really close to my kids, so don't get jealous of them.
Yes.
They've been there a lot longer than you have. I
Mhm.
don't understand why guys get so jealous of kids.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it's on both guys and girls. Yeah, I think there's that innate selfishness where people, really don't understand priorities, and especially when you have a healthy relationship with your kids, and then hopefully you have a healthy relationship with the co-parent, that I've seen really ruin some dating relationships. It's like, "Listen, this is their parent. We're gonna have to figure
Mhm.
out how to make this work." I see that one be a big obstacle every time, and as long
Yeah.
as you have at least one as long as you're dating someone who understands the complexities of co-parenting and what that looks like, because this is someone that you were married to, this is someone that you raised children with, as long as they're able to recognize those issues and how hard it can be, you have a good foundation to start, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So, am I ready to date or not?
You are. We're just giving you the right tools to do it. You have to go out, you have to start asking questions. When you ask questions, knowing the intention and what you're looking for, clearly, from everything you told me, caretaking is like priority number 1, which can, negatively affect a relationship if they're not used to that role and what that role looks like. Um, then you can ask the right questions and not waste your time.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is not waste your time. And then put everything else, in the order. I think one of the other things that I heard you say that was most important is own goals and ambitions, because,
Mhm.
you want to be able to talk to someone, and I think not even talk about it, but just encourage each other
Yeah.
in that, being.
Celebrate with you. That's what I really everybody's like, "Are you gonna celebrate?" And I'm like, "Celebrate what and with who?" It would be so great if you just had somebody in your life like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you," and, like, just, I don't know, wish you with all this love
Yeah, yeah.
because you
So,
did
I mean,
something
I think
so great.
you've got some solid things you can start doing as you start moving into the dating world.
Yeah. It's hard to find people who have goals, though. Nobody has any ambition today. Like, where
I
do you find these? I guess that's the question. Where would I find somebody like this? Because I don't know where I would find them.
Well, for me, where I find like-minded individuals is definitely in the networking space, because they're going out there.
Mhm.
I would love to say bars. Bars were good back then. That's where my mom and my stepdad fell in love. But now you want to find networking spaces where people are intentional on building something. They're building a business, they're building a brand, they're building a reputation. Those are the people that I even want to start to have as friends. But
Mhm.
even look at dating. I'm like, okay, we're like-minded. Let's do this. If you were looking for more of a faith-based, someone that is like, you would like them to be at the head of the household. There are some women, people who are looking for that. You go to churches, you go to these places where you're looking for um, those strengths. And for me, networking would be, I would suggest go network. Go showcase your podcast, showcase your book, go showcase all of that stuff, what you're building, and do that, and you'll come across a path of someone who's doing the exact same thing, and you'll be able to start those conversations.
So where do you, go do these networking things at?
Well, for here, I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so, like, I would go to, like, chamber events or, HR events, the Detroit Economic Club, they have events, anything where I'm wanting to learn more about my profession, and then I get to meet people who are in that same mindset. So, I know, next week I've got 2 back to back. One's a Washtenaw Women's Association, where I find great girlfriends. This is my, like, friendship circle. But then the other one is Washtenaw Business Association, where I get to meet other, solopreneurs. And, that's actually where I met my ex-boyfriend. He and I dated in 2024. We dated for 6 months. I met him there. He's a solopreneur, and he was going through a divorce, and we dated for like 6 months. And yeah, yeah, our paths just, he had 6 kids, and one of them, they were really young. One was still in diapers. And I was like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah. I like my sleep.
We had the same mindset and goals of, professional growth and development. And so that's where we met. So yeah, look at some of that stuff. Eventbrite,
Yeah.
meetups.
I'm doing all this, so I had no clue.
Okay, well, we'll come back next week and do another coaching session.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, good.
Clearly, I need a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm here for you.
My goodness. Anything else you wanna tell people about dating or anything?
Yes. One, read my book, because there's so much fun stuff in that. But I love reminding specifically women, is, girls, we got the power when it comes to dating. Like, just lean into your natural, just power. We're so strong. We are so sexy. We are so amazing that when we lean into that, we attract. We really do. And don't be afraid of it. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of which, how do you feel about, and this is just a conversation that I've had with a couple people. What is your take on guys asking girls out on trips, but you're only friends? You're not dating, you're not in a relationship. Do you take the trips? Do you not take the trips? They're all paid for.
I mean, are they friends before? Like if my best friend called me up and he was like, "Hey, you want to go on a trip?" I'd be like, "Yeah, you can take me." If it was someone that I just only recently knew, I would probably want more details. But then if I can swing it, I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
That's so funny. That's what everybody says, and I'm over here like, yeah, I don't think so. And then they'll ask me, well, why don't you want to go on a trip? And I'll tell them, and because I had a friend who asked, and I said no, because after my divorce, I did go on like weekend trips with a guy, and we're no longer friends. So
Mm,
these people who are my actual friends now, I don't want to go on a trip with them that's supposed to be like a relationship type trip. And then they catch feelings or think that something's gonna evolve or whatever, and everybody always tells me, like, "Just put boundaries down," but you're risking losing that friendship.
yeah. Well, I always one of the things that bothered me, and there was an article, I don't even remember when it came out, but it's hard for women to trust the friends because they're just waiting for the opportunity to jump in. And unfortunately, probably a lot of my friends, I just assume that that's where that is. And it's not because they've done anything, but because that's human nature. You
Yeah.
know, they're waiting for the opportunity. So I would weigh that cost. I'd be like, okay, like if you're going to cross the line and you're going to you told me that we were friends. You told me that this was just a friendship. You told me, and if you're going to cross that line, then the result will be this. I'm going to tell you no. And I'm going to tell you that up front. And if you still are inviting me and you still in the back of your mind think that, oh, it's just going to happen, I'll get her a couple drinks or whatever, and it still ends up this way, I warned you. I told you. And it's not, it is setting boundaries, but it is also they have to recognize that this is a common fear that we have as women, that we can't trust our male friendships. And, show up and be the male friendship that we can trust. Do what you are saying that this is going to be and build that trust as a friend.
Mhm.
And if that is not your deepest, darkest intention, then don't do it. Don't do it because you're going to end up regretting it, not me. Sorry.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like people people today aren't serious about relationships. Everybody's, I feel, are just out to get what they can from somebody.
Mhm.
You
Sometimes.
have guys who just want somebody to hang out with when they want somebody to hang out with, whoever they feel like hanging out with that day. Then you
Mhm.
have all these women who are just out here to get the attention, get their nails done, their hair done, and just use people for money. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? I don't understand it. I'm from the 90s. Like, guy comes up to you and says, "Hey, I like you. You want to go out on a date with me?" Sure. Like, where is that?
Yeah.
Please, let's just bring that back. It would be so much
It's
better.
so much easier.
I can't handle all this. Trying to decipher what people are thinking and anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, I don't know. That was a interesting conversation. Now I know what I'm looking for in dating. Thanks for that.
Perfect. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
You wanna, tell the audience, anything else about what you do or how your book is incorporated with anything?
Yeah, you can, just find me on, Instagram. I started a new Instagram, author Johnny Woods, and then I'm at got a website, I've got TikToks, I've got a blog, I'm on LinkedIn. I just love talking all things relationships. I just do communication, everything. It's my favorite. And then, of course, my book. Buy my book.
And buy her book.
Buy my book.
Ugh, I'm gonna buy your book.
Oh, thank you.
Is it on Kindle or you just is it on
Yeah.
Amazon? Okay.
Yep. It's on Kindle. It's on Ingram Spark. It's on Goodreads, Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
Well, thank you for the chat today. I really enjoyed myself, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
If today's episode spoke to your heart, don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss a new story of healing and hope. Share this episode with someone who needs a reminder that they're not alone, because you never know whose life it might change. If you're ready to take the next steps in your own healing journey, I invite you to check out my free quiz to see if you might be in a toxic relationship. It's a powerful first step toward clarity and freedom. You can schedule a free clarity call with me if you're ready to break chains, release bondages, overcome limited beliefs, and build confidence and self worth. And don't forget to grab a copy of my book, Behind Closed Doors, where I share my own story of surviving domestic abuse, finding healing, and learning to trust God through it all. And thank you for turning into Silent No Longer.